In the vast tapestry of human existence, there are threads that simply fray. Stories that begin, filled with life and promise, but never reach their conclusion. Throughout history, some disappearances have left the world searching for answers. These are not mere tales of individuals who have strayed from the path. They are profound mysteries, vortices of uncertainty that have drawn in the collective consciousness of our planet. The absence of a person, of a soul, creates a vacuum, a space filled with speculation, grief, and an unyielding, desperate hope for resolution. The human animal is a social creature, and when one of our own vanishes without a trace, it strikes a primal chord within us all. We are left to confront the fragility of our own existence, the unsettling reality that sometimes the world does not provide answers. The stories of these individuals become modern folklore, whispered from one generation to the next, their names etched into the annals of the unknown. They are cautionary tales, human tragedies, and enduring puzzles that captivate and haunt us in equal measure, reminding us that even in our interconnected world, one can still disappear into the ether. Tonight, we venture into the heart of these enigmatic voids. We will explore the circumstances, the frantic searches, and the lingering questions that have followed in the wake of these events. I am Mohammed Mwanzoa, and in this journey into the unknown, we will examine the evidence, the theories, and the enduring impact of these profound losses. Here are 5 missing persons cases that shocked the world. The Algarve coast of Portugal, a landscape usually associated with sun-drenched holidays and the gentle rhythm of the Atlantic, but in the spring of 2007, this idyllic setting became the stage for a tragedy that would capture the world's heart. In the resort town of Praia da Luz, a 3-year-old British girl named Madeleine McCann was on holiday with her family. As her parents dined with friends at a nearby tapas restaurant, a mere 50 meters away, Madeleine and her younger twin sibling slept, seemingly safe within the confines of their ground-floor apartment. But the night held a dreadful secret. When her mother, Kate McCann, checked on the children at 10 o'clock, she was met with a scene of unimaginable horror. The window was open, the shutter raised, and Madeleine's bed was empty. In that moment, a private family nightmare erupted into a global phenomenon. The initial search, a frantic scramble in the warm Portuguese night, soon swelled into one of the most intensive and high-profile missing person investigations in history. Her face, with those distinctive knowing eyes, was suddenly everywhere. On news channels, posters, and billboards across the globe, a silent plea for her return. The case became a vortex of media speculation, theories, and heartbreaking false leads. Was she taken by a stranger? Was it a burglary gone wrong? The sheer volume of information and misinformation created a fog of confusion that has never truly lifted. Sightings were reported from Morocco to Belgium, each one raising hopes before cruelly dashing them. The McCann family found themselves under an unbearable microscope, their every action scrutinized. The disappearance of this one small child exposed the vulnerabilities we all share and left an indelible scar on the public consciousness. In an era when the world was still a vast and unconquered map, one woman dared to chart its final frontiers from the sky. Amelia Earhart was more than an aviator. She was a symbol of courage and a pioneer for a new generation. In 1937, she embarked on her most audacious quest yet, to circumnavigate the globe at its widest point, the equator. At the controls of her twin-engine Lockheed Electra, with navigator Fred Noonan by her side, she had already conquered vast stretches of the Americas, Africa, and Asia. The final, most perilous leg lay before them, a daunting 2,556-mile journey over the unforgiving expanse of the Central Pacific Ocean. Their destination was a mere speck in that great blue void. Howland Island, a tiny flat coral island barely 2 kilometers long. As they approached, battling overcast skies and intermittent rain squalls, Earhart's radio transmissions grew increasingly desperate. She reported that she was low on fuel and could not see the island. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca, stationed nearby to guide her in, could hear her voice, but she, it seemed, could not hear them. Her final haunting transmission crackled through the airwaves, reporting they were flying on the line 157337. We are running on line north and south. Then, there was only silence. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart, and Fred Noonan triggered the largest and most expensive sea and air search in American history at the time. The vast ocean, however, offered no clues. The Electra and its two pioneering occupants had vanished as if into thin air. For decades, the mystery has endured, spawning countless theories. Did they run out of fuel and crash into the sea? Did they manage to land on a remote, uninhabited atoll, living out their days as castaways? Or did a more sinister fate befall them? The silence from the Pacific that day has echoed through history, a testament to the immense power of the natural world and the enduring spirit of a woman who dared to fly too close to the sun. Aruba. The name itself conjures images of white sand beaches, turquoise waters, and carefree holidays, a Caribbean paradise. It was this promise of paradise that drew Natalie Holloway, a recent high school graduate from Alabama, to the island in May of 2005 for a celebratory trip with her classmates. On the final night of their vacation, the 29th of May, the vibrant 18-year-old woman was seen leaving a popular nightclub. She was in the company of 3 young local men. It was the last time she was ever seen alive. Her departure from the club marked her departure from the known world. When Natalie failed to appear for her flight home the next morning, a sense of unease quickly escalated into full-blown panic. What followed was a search of incredible scale and intensity. Hundreds of volunteers, including tourists and local residents, combed the island alongside Aruban authorities and teams flown in from the United States. The island's rugged coastline, its dense cactus-filled interior, and even the surrounding ocean floor were scrutinized. The case became a media firestorm, dominating headlines in the U.S. and casting a dark shadow over the sun-drenched island. The investigation immediately focused on the 3 men last seen with Natalie, particularly a young Dutch national named Joran van der Sloot. A tangled web of conflicting statements, arrests, and releases unfolded, frustrating investigators and the Holloway family to no end. Despite numerous confessions that were later retracted and a labyrinth of circumstantial evidence, Natalie's body has never been found. The case exposed the jurisdictional complexities of international crime and the profound anguish of a family left with no body, no crime scene, and no definitive answers, only the ghost of a smiling young woman, lost in paradise. In the landscape of post-war America, few figures were as powerful or as controversial as James Riddle Hoffa. As the formidable leader of the Teamsters Union, he commanded immense influence, wielding the power of organized labor like a weapon. He was a man who walked with presidents and consorted with mobsters, a champion of the working class with a deeply complicated and often shadowy legacy. But on the afternoon of July 30th, 1975, this larger-than-life figure was scheduled for a meeting from which he would never return. Hoffa drove to the Machus Red Fox restaurant in Bloomfield Township, a suburb of Detroit. He was expecting to meet with 2 powerful mafia figures, Anthony Tony Jack Giacalone and Anthony Tony Pro Provenzano. The meeting was ostensibly to settle a feud and discuss Hoffa's ambitions to reclaim the Teamsters presidency after a stint in prison. He was seen waiting in the parking lot, growing agitated. He made a call to his wife, telling her he'd been stood up. After that call, Jimmy Hoffa, one of the most recognizable men in America, simply ceased to be. His car was found in the parking lot the next day, unlocked, with no signs of a struggle. The disappearance sparked a massive federal investigation and ignited a firestorm of public speculation that burns to this day. The prevailing theory has always been that Hoffa was the victim of a mafia hit, his ambition to retake the Union seen as a threat to the mob's control over its pension funds. The mystery, however, lies in the details, specifically the location of his remains. For decades, rumors and supposed deathbed confessions have led investigators on macabre treasure hunts, digging up horse farms, backyards, and even the concrete foundations of Giant Stadium in New Jersey, all to no avail. Hoffa's disappearance is a stark reminder of a violent era and a brutal testament to the fact that even the most powerful can be made to vanish. In the modern age of constant surveillance, GPS tracking, and satellite communication, the idea that a Boeing 777, one of the largest and most advanced passenger jets in the world, could simply vanish seems impossible. Yet in the early hours of March 8, 2014, the impossible happened. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members, departed from Kuala Lumpur on a routine overnight flight to Beijing. Less than an hour into its journey, as it flew over the South China Sea, it disappeared from civilian radar screens. The final verbal communication from the cockpit was a calm, routine sign-off. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Moments later, the aircraft's transponder, which communicates its identity and position, was switched off. Military radar, however, tracked the plane for another hour as it deviated dramatically from its planned flight path, turning west and flying back across the Malay Peninsula before heading south, deep into the vast, remote emptiness of the southern Indian Ocean. It flew on for hours as a ghost flight, silent and untraceable, until it is presumed to have run out of fuel. What followed was the most expensive and complex search in aviation history. An international coalition of nations scoured millions of square kilometers of ocean, first on the surface and then deep below, using sophisticated sonar equipment. Yet the main wreckage and the crucial black boxes have never been located. A few pieces of debris, confirmed to be from the aircraft, have washed ashore on the coast of Africa, thousands of kilometers away, offering tragic confirmation of the plane's fate but no answers as to why. Was it a catastrophic mechanical failure? A deliberate act by the pilots? A hijacking gone terribly wrong? The fate of the 239 souls aboard MH370 remains the greatest aviation mystery of our time. The empty chair at the dinner table, the unanswered phone call, the photograph on the mantelpiece that marks the last time they were seen. For the families of the missing, time does not heal, it merely stretches the moment of loss into an eternity of not knowing. These cases, from the little girl lost in Portugal to the ghost flight over the Indian Ocean, are more than just unsolved files. They are open wounds in our collective story, profound absences that challenge our sense of order and security. They are haunting reminders that for every question, there is not always an answer. These cases remain unsolved, leaving families and the world with more questions than answers. The search for truth continues, carried on by investigators, by journalists, by amateur sleuths, and most importantly, by the loved ones left behind. They search not only for remains or for culprits, but for something far more elusive: closure. A final chapter to a story that ended mid-sentence. The enduring power of these mysteries lies in their humanity, the lives that were lived, and the inexplicable void they left behind. The world is full of such enigmas, stories that linger in the shadows of our understanding. Each case serves as a somber monument to the unknown, urging us to remember those who have vanished and to hold on to the hope that one day the silence will be broken by the truth. Which case do you find most mysterious? Let us know in the comments, and please, subscribe for more journeys into the most compelling mysteries of our world. Thank you for watching.